Hey
Hey
guys,
guys,
welcome
welcome
back
back
to
to the
the channel.
channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and supporting us. Today we have another exciting video for you guys.
Yes, we will be talking about cultural differences in our relationship, Russian Mexican edition.
So the first cultural difference we're going to be talking about today is the influence of food culture.
Yes, and I honestly don't think that I was shocked about Mexican food just because as a kid growing up in Ukraine, I tried so many different things. Parents in Ukraine and Russia, they feed kids with different things. And that's why for me it was easy trying Mexican food for the first time. And just in general, I like trying things.
Yeah, but you grew up eating pickled herring.
Right. And you
That's
grew
not
up,
normal.
but you grew up eating Mexican food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
salsa and chili as a
Mm-hmm.
little kid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had hot sauce in our baby bottles, so that wasn't anything. Although when we had a toothache, they would put chili on the toothache because it would numb it a little
Yeah.
bit. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. In general, I don't think it was um, shock for me, but for you, because I don't cook a lot of Russian dishes, right? You
Mm-mm.
don't know. But we went once to Russian restaurant to try uh, some dishes.
Yeah,
Did you like it?
that was good.
Yeah. But he wasn't a big fan of it. And I also remember I bought some stuff for your mom and dad. Remember when we visited, I went to Russian store and bought some stuff to cook.
Everybody liked it.
They said that they liked it. Yes.
It was that potato salad. What's it called?
Olivier.
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 Yes.
Bless you. That's my
Um,
favorite. I like that.
well, actually, Olivier is French name of the salad, but it's a Russian salad that we always cook for holidays in Russia
It's really good.
and celebrations. Yeah, yummy.
I don't like that drink, the one with the bread. The beer.
Kvass.
Yeah.
Kvass, yeah.
If you guys know, you know. And if you know, if you don't know, you're not missing much.
Yeah, I think only Russians or Ukrainian people would like kvass, I think.
What is it? Fermented bread, water, juice, beer?
Well, it's kind of similar to kombucha, but it's a little bit different.
Made with bread, guys.
I would say that when you introduced me to sriracha, I got obsessed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I use sriracha twice a day, minimum.
I think a lot of Mexicans use sriracha. They do use like Valentina hot sauce, but sriracha is just known in the Mexican household. For me growing up, was Red Rooster sauce. You just call it the Red Rooster sauce because I guess roosters are Mexican.
Right.
A lot of Mexicans have roosters.
Hmm. And then when you introduced me to pho, even that it's not Mexican, I got obsessed with pho. It's the best dish ever.
It is.
Yes, it is. It is. Mhm. Better than ramen. Yeah.
Debatable. I like ramen better than pho.
No, pho.
Ramen's better.
And I also think that you cook better than me. Your pasta is chef's kiss.
Yeah, I can cook, but a cool story is Alex actually learned from my mom one of my favorite dishes, sticky chicken. So you either bake it, you slow cook some chicken thighs,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
I don't know the difference. I know what a chicken wing is, but other than that, I don't really know. And yeah, every week we created, well, Alex made it a tradition to cook my favorite dish every Sunday night,
Yeah, yeah, we do.
whether I'm home or I get home from work. So it's a nice little tradition we have.
Yes. And corn mashed potatoes and the chicken thighs.
So good. I think growing up in a Mexican household, I had a lot more home cooked meals and a lot of like Spanish Mexican influence. So obviously, the refried beans, the Spanish rice, and all of the good stuff. We had chile colorado, carnitas, carne asada, and oh, geez, the list goes on and on. I'm drooling a little bit. Chile rellenos. Oh, you haven't had those yet.
No, I need to start cooking Mexican food for you.
Yeah. We're gonna see if she can pull it off, guys.
I can. I just follow recipes, right?
But there's a lot of love that goes into it. So even breaking it down to like the salsa, you have to like bake or grill these chilies, right? Before you even think about starting the salsa. So one thing that was a food shock was Alex loves ginger, and I never really had ginger growing up. I don't think that it's really in a lot of Mexican dishes. So when we go out to sushi, she definitely takes all of my ginger, which I'm more than okay with. And other than that, I had a lot of cool fusion dishes growing up. So Alex mentions pho from a lot of different cultures. My dad is Korean, so I didn't know how spoiled I was growing up with Mexican Korean fusion dishes. I mean, you've had a Korean barbecue taco growing up
So good. So good.
with some kimchi in there. You want to talk about chef's kiss. Absolutely to die for. So yeah, I mean, we're pretty much open to trying new foods. So it was kind of cool to learn that about each other. It wasn't so much a shock, but it was kind of helping us to broaden our food tastes pretty much.
Yeah. Korean barbecue. Damn. Now I'm craving it.
We're going. After this video, we're going straight to Korean barbecue.
So the next cultural difference we're going to be talking about is family dynamics.
This is an exciting one. So, number one, and probably the most apparent thing, is my family is a whole lot bigger than Alex's. I have 5 aunts and uncles, and there's 17 kids in my generation. So I have 17 cousins, just on my Mexican side. And so that was a little bit different, I feel like, for Alex, but she just fit right in naturally.
My family is smaller, but they also all over the place. They're all over Ukraine and Russia, so we don't see each other very often.
You gotta tell them. So she has a twin sister.
Oh, yes, I do have twin sister. She lives in Russia.
As many of you don't know.
With my mom, yes.
Yes.
I think that Russian people, they're more blunt, and Mexican people more warm, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to hug everybody and kiss everybody, not only when you get to my family, but when you leave them as well. But that reminds me of a funny story. So I did meet Alex's dad over Zoom, and he made sure that Alex got me a bottle of vodka, the right one, right? It was a specific bottle, and we took shots over Zoom, and it was the first time meeting her dad, ever talking to her dad. And what was it? New Year's, right?
Yes.
It was New Year's in Russia. We took a few shots, and that was how I got her dad's approval, pretty much, to date Alex. And since they are 10 hours ahead, he went to work. So, yeah, a lot of respect for that man. So the next cultural difference we're going to be talking about today is holidays and celebrations.
Yes. So I think the biggest difference is that in Russia we celebrate New Year first and then Christmas, and here in US most of people celebrate Christmas first and then New Year, and I feel like Christmas here bigger than New Year.
Yeah, it was such a big cultural shock for me because here it's December 25th. What day is Christmas in Russia?
Well, Christian Orthodox, it's Christmas Eve, January 6th, and Christmas January 7th.
So our Christmas is first here in the U.S., and then in Russia it is January 6th or 7th, question mark.
No, Christmas, stuttering.
You said Christmas 6th and 7th.
Yes, Christmas Eve 6th.
Christmas Eve. You didn't say that.
I didn't say it?
She didn't say Christmas Eve. Let's rewind the tape.
Okay, what if I said it? I leave it this part.
And also, when we looked it up, he wears like a blue suit.
Who?
Santa Claus. For Christmas.
Not always. Yes, some costumes blue, some red.
So it's hit or miss over there. Who knows what's going on in Russia? But here, for the most part, it's red. And in here, the U.S., we're taught that Santa Claus is always with Mrs. Claus, but that's not the case in Russia.
Well, it's basically grandpa and granddaughter.
Granddaughter.
Yes.
So when we were Googling it, I'm like, who's this hot girl hanging out with Santa Claus? That's a little bit creepy.
Yeah.
But Alex, after explained that it's his granddaughter, so it's you don't call him Santa Claus, right? You have a different name for him.
Дед Мороз и Снегурочка.
Yeah, that's what I bless you. That's what I said. But it's technically his granddaughter.
Yeah, granddaughter.
Which explained a lot It made a lot more sense. Another big shock for me, or something that I had to learn, was how big International Women's Day was. We don't really celebrate it here in the States, but as Alex taught me,
Yes, in Russia it's very important, and I think in Europe in general,
mhm,
they all celebrate International Women's Day, and it's a big thing. Like you have to buy gifts for females in Russia for International Women's Day, otherwise it's kind of rude not to buy.
but I buy you gifts anyways.
Yes, but I'm just saying, like there it's like a big thing. Everyone expects, you know.
Speaking of gifts, let's talk about flowers here, people. I may have mentioned it before, but it is a huge deal. If you ever buy a Russian or Eastern European woman flowers, please, please, please make sure they are in odd numbers.
Mhm.
Otherwise, what does it mean when they're even numbered flowers?
It's for funeral.
It's for a funeral, guys. So you don't want to be giving your girlfriend, your wife, your significant other a bouquet of flowers, and she thinks that someone had passed away.
Yeah.
It's not a good look.
No, no. It's kind of like bad luck almost if you giving it to a live person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no good, guys. So always pluck one or find an extra flower to put
Just
into that
yes.
bouquet.
The next cultural difference is love languages and expressing emotions.
Yes, I think as a Mexican, I had a lot more romantic influence growing up, meaning just being more compassionate, passionate, and just like more of a loving person. And a lot of influence from that. I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve. So that helped me to be more in tune with my feelings and also my partner's feelings as well.
And I also think that it's because in US people more open to show their emotions than in Russia.
Yeah,
In Russia we very conservative and we kind of hold our emotions inside.
stern,
Yeah.
stoic,
um,
closed book.
closed book, yes, I would say so. You're not supposed to show a lot of emotions. I also think that it's because of your sign. You're Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Cancers, they're very affectionate, passionate, right?
Or water signs.
Yes. And I'm Virgo.
What is Virgo? Analytical, bossy,
No, I'm not bossy.
very bossy.
No, 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 no.
She's bossy. The next cultural difference are going to be social norms and personality differences.
We should talk about Russian people that they don't smile a lot. Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, because you're not supposed to show emotions, but it's also um, considerate that you're not a very bright person if you smile a lot. And it was weird last time when I went to Russia. I was walking with my mom on the street, and I was just like smiling, and my mom like, "Don't smile."
And saying hi to strangers.
Well, I did say a couple of hi. Yes, привет, здравствуйте in Russian, but my mom was like, "Don't smile. They're gonna think that something is wrong." Like something is wrong with you. I'm like, oh my god, I guess I'm too Americanized now.
I mean, that's something that Alex had to get used to. I'm
Yeah.
such a extroverted, happy-go-lucky person. I'm literally talking to every single person. I can strike up a conversation and become like a complete stranger's best friend. So when I'm smiling all the time in public and walking around and wherever we go, Alex is always like, "What? I have to get used to this."
Yes, no, not as much because I already lived in US for a long time,
Yeah.
and LA people not as friendly as some other parts of the country. And in like for example Massachusetts or on East Coast, you're going to be walking somewhere in a park or on the street, you always say hi no matter what. Here people don't say hi as often. They still say hi if they know that you're a neighbor, but in general, like where I lived before on East Coast, you walk, you see like stranger, and you just hi.
So LA is mini Russia, apparently.
Well, here a lot of Russians, and also in New York, like its biggest
There's a reason for
communities.
that.
Yes,
But in New York is on the East Coast, so they say hi to each other.
right. New York closer to New England. Yes. And the last talking point we have for today is what have you learned from each other?
I think that I've learned a tremendous amount from you. Just blending of our cultures together. Alex was raised to be a very caring, compassionate, and respectful individual. So that made it really easy to open up and break down any guards or walls that I had getting to know her when we first started dating. And I think one of the biggest influences was the fact that we were both raised to be respectful in a very traditional sense. And that allowed us to kind of put down any walls or guards we had. And when it comes to relationships, and really learn to grow as a couple rather than individually. We really complement each other in the best of ways. I mean, she's driven, she's organized, and she's focused. So that's a big problem that I have, and that's such a compliment to my personality because it allows me to always finish what I start.
Yes, I agree. I always push you to finish what you started. Yeah, but I also want to say that in Russia and Ukraine and just in Europe, I feel like people, females, they still kind of like, what is it, more family oriented
Mm-hmm.
compared to US. I think here a lot of females, they very independent. In Russia, it's not the same. In Russia, females rely more on a man. Uh, yeah, and kind of want them to be head of household. I
To
would
lead.
to lead. Yes, yes, to lead. I think this is will be the biggest difference.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if like for couples to like adjust, but because I lived in US for so many years, I already Americanized, I feel like. No, not as much, you think?
I mean, you maintain your traditional core values.
Yes.
So it allows us to complement each other in the best of ways as husband and wife, and just enjoy each other's company and to enjoy our trips together, these videos together, whether we're just watching a show or movie. Even if words aren't being said, there's still that connection and just happiness and just kind of like calmness that we can share together, regardless of what we're doing. And that just helps us to keep growing and learning from each other and making ourselves and the other person better.
Yeah, I agree.
Important takeaway from our unique relationship is just having two people from completely different countries and upbringings, because that allows you to not only learn a lot from each other, but you can kind of hear about experiences that you would have never experienced in your entire life. And I think that that's the most beautiful thing about our relationship.
Yes, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, don't forget to like
Comment
and
and
subscribe.
subscribe.
Bye.
The playing with my mind, gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna